So this week I made a decision. This might have been extremely surprising to most of you, but I actually ended up taking my Canon R6 back, returning it, and exchanging it for the camera I'm filming on right now, which is the Fujifilm XT-4. Now this may come as a huge surprise for most people. The Canon R6, I raved about it, and I said so many good things about it. The image was incredible, it was full frame, but I had some realizations, and today I would like to talk to you guys a little bit about those. So in my opinion, too many of us get caught up so much in new gear coming out, and for me the Canon R6 was definitely one of those things. I got caught up in the frame rates and the specs and the fact that it was full frame, and kind of ignored all the reviews coming out about the camera. And in my initial testing, I thought I was right. I thought everything was going to be fine, that the overheating issue was not going to be present. But upon further use of that camera, unfortunately it became to the point that it was almost unusable for me. It started overheating really bad. It would take forever to recover, even with the new firmware update. And so I started to do some research. The Fuji X-T-4 had always been on my radar. I'm a huge Fuji fan. And my God, this is light. My arm actually isn't burning. But the overheating wasn't the biggest issue for me. I could get past it. I could shoot. I could still get work done, even with that reduced workflow. And I'm gonna tell you guys today why maybe just getting caught up in the hype around camera gear may not be the best decision you could make when you're talking about thousands of dollars worth of investment. Well, now that we've got that out of the way, I think it's time to really talk about what deterred me from staying with Canon this time. I just hit my head on a punch. But yeah, I think we need to really talk about what deterred me from Canon, what pushed me over to Fujifilm. So I'm gonna find a bench right now to go sit on and kind of explain this to you guys, what went through my mind when making this really hard decision, honestly, because I was a fan of the R6, just like I said, but let's go sit down and let's talk more about it. We are really putting the Fuji X-T4 to the test today, but hey, I think we might have just found the coolest spot that I've ever found for vlogging. Just looking around here, I'm in the middle of a pile of leaves with some beautiful colors. I wish you guys could be here, but let's get on with it already and talk about why I did switch from Canon in favor of the Fuji. First off is that RF glass costs a lot of money, bro. I think the 16 to 35 or the 15 to 35 RF lens, which is like the king for vlogging, costs over $2,300. And for me, that's just not feasible at the moment. I am not making enough money to be able to afford any kind of gear like that. It just makes it really not feasible for me personally. It may be for you guys, but that was one of the biggest determining factors for me. My second favorite RF lens, the 24 to 70 f2. I believe it's an f2 or an f2.8. That lens is still like $2,400 or something like that. And like I said, for me, that is just insane, way out of my price range. And so yeah, the lens prices on the Fuji are a lot more obtainable for me. Right now I'm on the 16 to 80 f4, which is kind of perfect, honestly. For vlogging, it gives me so much range. F4 kind of sucks, so I don't do a lot of low light. Let me turn this phone up. But yeah, F4 is fine. I don't do a whole ton of low light, but when I do, I know this will work just fine for me if I can just, you know, find some light in the shots that I'm taking. And the elephant in the room is the overheating on that camera. I couldn't get past it. It was getting to the point where it was almost unusable for me. I ended up returning it and exchanging it for this after doing some research. My most recent video is over the Canon R6 and its lack of overheating, and that was extremely frustrating for me. My most recent video, literally my most recent video, I think, was talking about how the Canon R6 never overheats, and the very next day is when I started really experiencing these problems. I didn't realize how bad it was until I started experiencing it, and yeah, it just made it really unusable for me. And the third thing that made me decide to move to Fuji from Canon has to be thinking about the system you're investing in. In recent history, Canon has had a big problem of crippling their consumer cameras to protect their cinema line cameras, and just doing weird things intentionally that really bothered me to invest thousands of dollars into a company that does things like that. Fuji, on the other hand, is more niche, and they really pack all their features into their consumer cameras. And for me, I wanted to be with a company that was going to fulfill my investment and, you know, give customers the customer service that they deserve from investing thousands of dollars into their brand. Fuji is also known for putting out firmware updates years and years after the camera has been released, which is really unheard of. And I really just wanted to be a part of a brand that cares about its customers. So that was one of the biggest deciding factors for me moving over to Fuji instead of Canon. Now, don't get me wrong, the Canon R6 is an amazing camera. If you guys are thinking about buying that camera, know what you're getting yourself into, be consciously aware. But like I said, it produces an incredible image. And for you photographers out there, you will not be disappointed with the Canon R6. It's an incredible photography camera, and although those lenses are very expensive, they're probably the best lenses made right now. Just incredible glass from top to bottom. So yeah, the Canon R6, definitely not a slouch, but we're going to be putting this Fujifilm XT-4 through its paces over the next few weeks, doing a lot of videos on it, and I have a first impressions video coming very soon for you guys, probably at the beginning of next week, so stay tuned for that and enjoy the fall weather B-roll. So before I let you guys go, I actually found this super crazy spot. It's like this little oasis away from the street, and it's hidden back here, and you get all the leaves across the ground, and it's actually really pretty. The street's down there, and it's just this little oasis. So yeah, I thought I'd show you guys that. I'm gonna head back to the car, I'm gonna get back to the studio, and I'm gonna edit this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for tuning in. Also, I'm gonna sit down real quick. Keep in mind that I am thinking about doing a Q&A. So for those of you that are watching the videos and everything, drop down in the comments, ask me any questions about the R6 or the XT-4 that you may have. Any other questions about me personally or just life in general, ask them down below in the comments, and I will answer them in an upcoming Q&A video. I'll pop your name up on screen and everything, so stay tuned for that. And if you guys like the content, be sure to subscribe and like the video, as that would be greatly appreciated and help out the channel a ton. Peace.